Hello everyone, welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we're taking a look at a really interesting piece from Victorinox, and it's one of the models that's actually 75mm in length. Unfortunately it is long discontinued, but it's a very sort of rare size due to, they've only actually 3 models made in this length. But I want to give a shout out to Jesse McJames, first the Alien Out for graciously trading this to me. I sent him a Victorinox floral knife and then he sent me this in return. So Jesse, once again, thank you very much. If you're not subscribed to Jesse, please go check him out. He's got some great content. He's very much into his military sort of stuff, so make sure you're checking that out. But here it is. This is the Victorinox Student, one of only 3 in the 75mm length range. Normally it would be a 74, but hence this is quite a different one. So the 75mm then equates to pretty much bang on the 3-inch mark. So it's a very convenient size, very nice size to sort of carry, and you can see that it's a very slender carry as well. I have done a little bit of digging, a little bit of research on this particular model, as I've really been getting into the history more about Victorinox as well, and how they came about, how the knife was sort of conceived, things like that. So it's very closely related then to the Pocket Pal, which is an 84mm in cellidor, and along with that it's also very, very closely related to the Beginner, which is pretty much identical to this, just with one main blade, but it does have ribbed Alox scales. And you can see this one then, the Student, is in the smooth red Alox, and the model number for that was 0.6700.10. So weird size, really long model number. That's just what Victorinox have done. Very strange, but you can see how slender that is. Of course, this isn't a new old stock. It has been carried and loved by someone, so we've got that sort of natural patina on the scales with a little bits of chipped off in use. And as the name you'd expect, Student, this was actually advertised in a German catalogue back in 1946, what I can see, was being called the studentmesser, so the student knife, and it was sort of advertised at students, and it was very available in multiple sort of different handle materials. So you could have had a silver Alox, a cellidor with a bail or without a bail. So a bail would be the sort of the clasp on the end. You could have had it in imitation tortoise shell, and along with that as well, imitation mother of pearl, smooth stainless steel, or basket weave gold. Now the basket weave is what they use now on the SD Precious range, where it looks like interlocking. So that would have been really cool to find one of those, so we'll be looking out for that. But anyway, on with the Student. As I mentioned, it's a 2-bladed knife. You get one large pen blade and one small pen blade. You can see this has not seen very much use at all. There is scratches on the blade, so it has been used. There's a nice edge on there. I did touch it up a little bit myself, so it is razor sharp, but came with a very nice edge from Jesse. You see we have the older tang stamp on here. You can see Victorinox, we have Switzerland, stainless, and Rost Fry on there. And then on the back, one I actually don't have any models of. This is the first one I've got of this, with the Victoria tang stamp. And you can see the crossbow and just about make out the handle going to the left-hand side here. And the date range for this is actually very, very sort of vague. Looking on the tang stamp guide on SacWiki, I found it was between 1943 and 1973 that these appeared on Swiss Army knives of all different sorts. So quite hard to nail it down. I do know that you could probably nail it down a bit more with this. And I found out these tang stamps started in the 50s. So I'm going to go between 50 and 73. This is the probably age for this. So a very sort of old knife, very cool, nice to pick up. Main blade then, as it's a 75mm, is within the UK limit by far. We have a tip to tang of pretty much 2.1 inches with a cutting edge of 1.8, 1.75, 1.8. We have that famous Victorinox sort of handle, blade sort of style. Nice drop point blade with the really nice sharpening choil here as well, and the nail neck on the top. And actually a really surprising action for such a small, petite little knife. Be perfect for like a gentleman's carry, or it was advertised as a Student, so you could conceal this or sort of pop it in your pocket and you wouldn't even know it's there. But pull strength then is about 5.5, and then it's about a 6.5 here. It's got really fantastic snap for the age of this thing. Just listen to this. Construction then, you can see we have, it does look like brass pins to me, but it could be nickel silver. not entirely sure. I couldn't really find out, and I can't tell just from looking. Really wonderful smooth red Alox with the Victorinox shield on here. They've actually fared up very well for the age of this thing. They're taking a bit of a battering on the back here, but the actual face of them, they look really, really good. Little pen blade then for the secondary blade. See the finish on the blade there, a little bit of scratching. This has been used. I have touched up the blade as well. I want to give it a nice sharp edge. Looks like it has rubbed the line on the tiniest amount here, but nothing that's really going to bother me. Nice snap on that blade too. Pull on this one is pretty much identical to the main blade. It's like a 5.5 to maybe a 6. The break is about a 6. Obviously UK legal pen blade as well. We have tip to tang of 1.4 inches and then a cutting edge of 1.2 thereabouts. Nice little snap on the close for that as well. But yeah, really pleased with this little thing. It's one of the older pieces I'm trying to fill out my Victorinox collection with, and I'm very, very grateful for Jesse for offering to trade this with me, because I have been looking for things like this to fill up my collection. But what a fantastic looking little knife. I love the equal-ended pattern of this. The smooth Alox I'm a big fan of. Is it the easiest thing to use? No, if you've got wet hands, this would be a nightmare to use because it would be very slippery. But I just really love the classy look of it. I do have a couple of additional pieces in the red smooth Alox, which are absolutely fantastic. So I also have the 58mm companion. This was sent to me by John at Thrifty Kniffy. This one was new old stock. Very similar to the classic SD, pretty much. You get the pen blade on there, nail file and scissors. Only difference being there's no keyring, so it's a very slender small carry. Another fantastic one for the smooth Alox collection. And along with that I have the Prince, which is a 74mm. So you can see it's 1mm off being the same length. It's very, very close. It's such a tiny amount. So I'm not particularly sure why they sort of went for that 1mm difference. Maybe they couldn't make it in the 74, I'm not sure. But you can see the obvious difference, this being having tools both sides and being pinned actually very similar to how the SDs are pinned, with the 4 in each corner. But this one has very sort of simple tools as well. We have a main blade, we have pen blade on there, and then on this side you have the nail tool with the nail file and nail cleaner on there. Basically just a very, very large style SD. But yeah, once again, Jesse, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Please make sure you subscribe into the Alien Outlaw Jesse McJames. I really hope you enjoyed this review, sort of a look round, a little brief bit of history on the Victorinox Student. Please be sure to like, subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.